Hi, this is the Michael Myers Fanatic back with another commentary. This time we're doing Halloween 2, 1981. I saw the film for the first time in 1999. I can't remember whether it was late 99 or early 99. I think it was early 99. But anyway, I encourage you to get out your DVDs, Blu-rays, or whatever you have available, and I'll let you know when I'm going to get started. Bear with me. Here we are with the Universal logo. And we have Mr. Sandman, Haddonfield, Illinois. And we have October 31st, 1978. And I believe we're at Tommy's house, as you'll see here shortly. You got a view of the trees. I always got the two houses confused. You know, was that Tommy's house or Lindsay's house? I know it sounds crazy, but I always got them confused. And here you have a recap of the original. Jamie Lee Curtis, who plays Laurie, trying to tell Tommy and Lindsay to call the police and send them over here. And our killer and antagonist, Michael Myers, is about to rise any second now. We see Laurie sitting there, and there he is. And you hear that sinister music by Alan Howarth and John Carpenter. You see Dr. Loomis there. He's played by Donald Pleasence, and Michael is rising like a robot almost. And here we see Michael making his way toward Laurie. I still have a bit of a cough, so bear with me. And he's really choking the crap out of her. Here's Loomis coming to save the day. She unmasks Michael. And as you can hear, he shot Michael once. Now he's gonna run around screaming that he shot him 6 times in a second, but technically it was 7. And she says, was it the boogeyman? And he says, as a matter of fact, it was. I never understood, did he look out the window or did he go downstairs and go out of the house? If he went out of the house, that's pretty quick. And as you can see, Michael left a print on the lawn. And here you can see that Dr. Loomis is about to feel the grass. And he's going to run across Michael's blood. This is what I don't understand. Why do you need to feel the grass? Clearly he's not there. So I never understood that part. And in a second, you're going to hear somebody say, what's going on out here? Loomis says, call the police. Tell the sheriff I shot him. He's still on the loose. And he's going to utter the most epic line. You don't know what death is. And you can hear the infamous Halloween theme being performed by Alan Howarth. Mustafa Akkad presents a Dino De Laurentiis Corporation film. Donald Pleasence and Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween 2. And there's the pumpkin. I never did like that organ. For me, it just didn't work for this movie. And as you can see, it's a John Carpenter and Deborah Hill production. Rest in peace to Deborah Hill. She passed away in 2005, I believe. And we have Pamela Susan Shoop, who plays Karen. It's a nice opening here with the classic pumpkin. I have to give it to Halloween 2 for its uniqueness of the Halloween theme. It sounded very different from the other incarnations. I respect that. These credits are kind of long, and I'm wishing that we can just get to the movie, but it is what it is. I enjoyed the theme song, and as you can see, Dean Cundy is back as the director of photography. And you have Irwin Yablans and Joseph Wolf as the executive producers. And Joseph Wolf would go on to be involved in several of the Halloween films before passing away in 2005. Directed by Rick Rosenthal. And now you can see that we're back into the movie here, and we're in Haddonfield, and we're looking through Michael's POV. And he appears to be a wounded animal. He's looking at the other kids. As you can see, they just said trick or treat. And you can see the dog there. He's going to shortly make his way to the Elrod house. And he's looking at Loomis. You can hear Loomis saying, "I shot him 6 times," even though technically it was 7. And as I said, you can see that he's making his way to the Elrod house, and there's the pumpkin. He's spying on her, looking at her make a ham sandwich there. Michael must be hungry. Her husband's supposed to be watching Night of the Living Dead. I think the movie is watching him. And Michael's about to enter her home and take the knife. I always wondered why he didn't kill her. And he takes the knife. I guess he didn't want a slice of ham. I thought he would have wanted one. Maybe he got a little hungry from all that killing. And you'll see Michael walk across the lawn there, but Not before Mrs. Elrod screams from seeing blood. And there's Michael Myers, played by Dick Warlock. And he's looking at his next victim, Alice. And she yells to Mrs. Elrod, she says, "Are you okay?" It's like, why don't you just go over there and check? Stop being so damn lazy. And you can see Michael looking in there at Alice there. I'm laughing because to me, she deserved what she got. Being so lazy, just go over there and look. I'm sorry, guys. You know how I get with these horror films. And here we have Alice talking on the phone to her friend, and she's about to discover the Haddonfield murders. And they're talking about it on the phone right now as I speak. And you can hear it on the radio, and later on, that's how Michael learned her whereabouts. And as you can see, he's making his way into her house. Michael did a lot of home invasions in this movie. Not a lot, he did 2, but still, 2 is a big number. How do you just enter somebody's house like that? Apparently, Michael, you know, he had a set on him. And she knows something's wrong. She said, "Who is it?" And she says it again. She's about to find out who it is. I don't think she's going to like the answer. And she's gone. Michael has killed her. And you can see the police coming down the street, and here we have Deputy Hunt, played by Hunter Von Leer, I believe his name is. He's going to make his first on-screen appearance. He's coming soon. Okay, I thought that was him coming in the first car. Apparently it isn't. And they're making their way into the Doyle house. This was filmed in southern Pasadena, California. For anybody that doesn't know. And here we have Laurie Strode, our protagonist, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. This is a lovely scene right here. I like the fact that they continued from before. You know, sometimes I do want them to do a sequel, you know, where they go on to another year, but this is still good. She's being loaded into the ambulance here, and she's going to start saying, "Don't let them put me to sleep." And that was always a line that annoyed me. It was sort of like Dr. Loomis running around in Halloween 5 screaming about the rage. She said, "Don't let them put me to sleep." And I understand her logic, you know. She doesn't want Michael to come and get her. She doesn't want to be immobilized and be completely vulnerable. So I think Jimmy is saying that she went to school with his brother or something like that. What the hell kind of name is Ziggy? But whatever. You can see that somebody else is approaching here. A woman with her son or daughter. I can't really tell what the gender is, but the person has a razor blade in their mouth. Some people say that these things really did go on back then, and then some people say that the whole razor blade on Halloween was just an urban legend. And you see the ambulance coming. Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, that's going to be used in the upcoming film Halloween Kills. And I wonder who they got to make those jackets for them, for Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. I've always wondered small little details like that. And now we're entering the hospital. I always wondered why they would admit that Dr. Mixter was drunk. That's very unprofessional. I mean, I know that this was the 1970s and things were a little bit more laid back then, but you know, come on, let's not be ridiculous. And we have Nurse Alves here, and she's played by Gloria Gifford. And she's going to say it again, don't put me to sleep. I'm telling you, that line is just so annoying. I don't know why. It just always annoyed me. Even back in 1999 when I first saw the film. Please don't put me to sleep. I hate that line. It's like, yeah, I know you don't want to go to sleep. I know it's annoying. I totally understand. She doesn't want to be vulnerable to Myers, but I don't know. Maybe they could have made her say something else. It's just that the way she said that line just really grinds my gears. I didn't like it. But anyway, we're back on the streets of Haddonfield now with Dr. Loomis and Sheriff Brackett. And Sheriff Brackett is played by Charles Cyphers. And we have Dr. Loomis telling him that they have to stop Michael. And Sheriff Brackett says that Loomis let him out, which I don't understand why he would do that, but okay. And I like how Loomis had the gun aimed right at his face. And as you can see, they think they see Michael Myers coming. Why would he have a bag of candy in his hand, though? At least I think he had something in his hand. Let me see. Yeah, he's got a bag in his hand. Why would Michael have a bag in his hand? It doesn't make any sense. What does he have, a bag of knives? Of course, we learn later that that was Ben Tramer, the guy that Laurie was trying to go out with in the first one. And I will be doing commentary for that one as well. And we have Deputy Hunt. He's gonna inform Brackett that one of the victims was Annie, his daughter. And here we have Robert Mundy reporting about the Haddonfield murders. And we have Mrs. Alves, and Jimmy is on his way to go visit Laurie. And I believe Jimmy is played by Lance Guest. And I think that this is a real hospital. I'm not sure. It might have been a military hospital or something like that. But I think it's a real hospital. I don't know for sure. But here we have Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. I have to reiterate that once again for anybody that doesn't know, in case you've been living in a cave somewhere. No offense, just saying. There is Mrs. Alves, played by Gloria Gifford, I believe her name is. She's checking on Laurie here. And as you can see, Jimmy has a bit of a crush on Laurie. Why wouldn't he? You know, she's very beautiful. I had the biggest crush on Jamie Lee Curtis back when I was a child. And Jimmy's about to leave the hospital. And we have Robert Mundy again reporting on the Haddonfield murders, telling everyone that Michael Myers is the killer. And they're still taking bodies out of the house. I guess one of them is Linda and the other one is Bob. They've already taken Annie out. And poor Sheriff Brackett about to discover his daughter, played by Nancy Loomis. And as you can see, she's a goner. But it must be a horrible thing to find your daughter like that. I mean, wow. They say he was supposed to come back in 9. But my thing is, why? Like, why would he wait so long? Because 9 took place in 2003, according to them, even though it was supposed to be 2004. The sheriff, the deputy, just told Brackett to go home, and Brackett said, "You let him out." Why would Loomis let him out? I don't get that. But anyway, I don't understand why why Brackett would go after Michael Myers in 2003. That's 25 years after the fact. Like, why would he wait so late? I never understood that about Halloween 9. It just didn't make much sense to me. And now you can hear Dr. Loomis giving one of his epic speeches about Michael. He says, "I fired 6 shots into him and he just got up and walked away." I'm talking about the possibility that he's still out there. Nobody can execute that like Donald Pleasence. And as you can see here, we're near Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, and I think Karen is gonna drop off a friend somewhere. And we see the boombox boy. I think he was played by Dick Warlock's son. Yeah, here they come. Nurse Karen and her friend. I like Halloween 2. You know, it wasn't as good as the original, but I like it. I like the fact that they were all in that little space against an unknown enemy. It was a group of people in this space against an unknown enemy. That's the way I would describe the Halloween 2, 1981. And Michael Myers is about to make his way to Haddonfield Memorial Hospital here. You can see the boombox boy coming. He's going to bump into Michael right now. And you hear the theme song, again, played by Alan Howarth. Michael's making his way to the hospital. And in a minute, we're going to see the police. And when you think about it, it was the perfect cover because it was Halloween. So who would suspect anything? That's probably why the cops didn't do anything. I'm sorry, I had to stop and listen to Alan Howarth. He's so great with that music. Very talented guy. And in a minute, Nurse Karen, played by Pamela Susan Shoop, is going to arrive. She's here. And we're going to see Michael Myers. And there he is. And Robert Mundy is still talking about the murders. And I guess he would. It would be big news in a town like that. Now, don't get me wrong. When they did Halloween 4, I'm glad that they continued the story. I just wish that they would have talked about the murders a little bit more. And here we have Bud and Janet. And Janet is clearly disgusted with Bud. That is one empty hospital, and we have Mr. Garrett, played by Cliff Emick, I think his name is. And Nurse Karen has made her way there. We're about to make our way back to Bud and Janet. And Janet is telling Bud that Julie, whoever that is, saw Michael Myers, and Bud is debunking her claim. And clearly Bud doesn't believe the story because he says Michael didn't escape until last night. And of course Janet just gets up and leaves, and Bud is about to sing the trademark song of Amazing Grace. I say trademark because it's become famous among Halloween fans. And there's the song, Amazing Grace. Now I understand that guys will be guys, don't get me wrong. But it was a little insensitive to be singing when somebody was just murdered. So, that's a little insensitive. I definitely understand where Jimmy was coming from. And Michael Myers has also made his way into the hospital, and we see him there walking down the stairs. And in a minute, we're going to see his POV on the hospital floor, one of the hospital floors anyway. I don't know which one it was. And there it is. He's going to go in the room with the babies. And we see Nurse Karen coming down the hallway. She's about to be reprimanded by Mrs. Alves for being late. Michael's just in there with the kids, just chilling. And as you can see, there he goes. You can see Jimmy talking to Laurie about Michael. And she says, the Myers house? The little kid who killed his sister? And then she says he's in a hospital somewhere, so it must have been a really famous story, in Haddonfield. Wonder how she knew about Michael. I mean, I know it had to be famous, but it's weird that she never mentioned it in the first one. I don't know, it's just, it sounds like a plot hole to me, but anyway, not much is going on. As you guys can see, we simply have Mrs. Owls trying to find out where Laurie's parents were, and I'm laughing because Dr. Mixter was at that party, and it's like, why would you drink and then go do surgery on somebody? This movie was hilarious when it came to Dr. Mixter. Laurie checked the phone and there is no dial tone. In a minute, we're going to see people throwing rocks at the Myers house. I wonder if they're going to use that in Halloween Kills. Mr. Garrett is going to go check on the phones. He's not coming back. I can assure you of that. And he's in the back of the hospital, I think. It's pretty spooky. You know, I wouldn't want to be back there like that. He's about to be scared by a cat. Cat's gonna scare the crap out of him. Any second now. Is that blood I see there? That cat, man, that's hilarious. I don't know. I felt like there should have been some music here. You know? The music is what makes the film. And as you can see, in a minute we're going to see that the lock is broken and that somebody has obviously broken into the room. It's kind of hard for me to commentate with these kinds of things because nothing happens and there's no music at all. If this were a Friday the 13th movie, you would at least hear the or some people pronounce it ch. Either way is fine with me, but you would have heard that by now. It's just too quiet. He's inspecting everything in the storeroom there. He's telling Janet that somebody broke in. And as you can see, that lock is broken. And he's about to meet his demise at the hands of our serial killer, Michael Myers. And that's the thing, like I said, this scene just dragged on a little too long with no music at all. But it is what it is. I don't want to be nitpicky here. And there it is. Michael Myers knocked the crap out of him with the hammer. And we see Dr. Loomis and Deputy Hunt looking at the charred remains of Ben Tramer. They don't know it's Ben Tramer. They think it still might be Michael. Excuse me. In a way, that was kind of slick on Michael's part. You know, he killed in the hospital, and the cops didn't expect him to be there. As you can see, the townspeople throwing rocks at the Myers house. Like I said, I wonder if they're going to use this in Halloween Kills. That's going to debut later on this fall, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Judy Greer, and Andy Matichak. And Dr. Loomis always has his gun with him. I can't blame him. And now they're talking about how Haddonfield was a quiet town. And now I want to point out something. Deputy Hunt hands Loomis the lighter, and Rick Rosenthal already pointed it out on his commentary track that Michael would use that, or not Michael, but that Loomis would use that lighter later on to take Michael down. Talk about fate. And we have Dr. Loomis giving his speech about Michael. He always does that in these films. He says that the staff at Smith's Grove didn't know who Michael was or what he was, but he knew, meaning Dr. Loomis. And some of Ben Tramer's friends just said that he hasn't come back from a party or something like that. So they also said that he was wearing a mask. That's how they knew that it was Ben Tramer and not Michael. We're back at the hospital now with Nurse Karen. She's about to go and have some relations with Bud. Played by Leo Rossi. She's just walking slowly. This is what I mean. It needed more music. And she's very upset with Bud. He says, "Happy Halloween." She tells him he's the biggest jerk, but she agrees to have relations with him. I don't quite understand that. He says, "Let's go down to the therapy room." He says, "Everybody's all weirded out tonight, all this Michael Myers crap. You know, 3 people were just killed. Excuse me if I don't feel like, you know, giving you nookie." That's what I would have said if I were her. You know? 3 people were just killed. This guy was a jerk. I mean, maybe it's just me, but 3 murders kinds of, you know, it kind of kills the mood a little bit there. But, you know, Bud is just not taking it seriously, and she agrees to do it with him. She says she's got to go check on the kids. And here you can hear the Laurie theme, and we're about to have a flashback into Laurie's life and learn that there's a connection to Michael. And there's young Michael. So she knows that there's something there. She just doesn't know what. And we are now in the therapy room where they are about to do the do, but they will be interrupted by our serial killer and antagonist, Michael Myers. And we have Nurse Karen. She's disrobing here. Allegedly, she asked Rick Rosenthal and the others to disrobe if she was going to do it. And Rick said he was ready, willing, and able to do it. So I find that very interesting. Michael Myers is going to turn the heat up a little bit, pun intended. I think he was trying to force them to get out of the pool so that it would make it easier for him to kill them. Oh my goodness, guys, this is cracking me up. I'm enjoying doing this for you guys. You're listening to commentary on the film Halloween 2. It came out in 1981. I'm your host, Darnell Weeks, aka the Myers Fan 25, or the Michael Myers Fanatic. Follow me on all forms of social media at the Myers Fan 25. And we're going to see Bud being strangled in the background here. And there it is. And he's now coming for Karen. I'm sorry, you guys. You have to forgive me for laughing. Michael is just hilarious. I think she's going to lick his hand, which is disgusting. Yes, touch the killer's hand. Touch his hand. Yeah, why not? You know. And I think she just bit his hand. Wow, she's being drowned in boiling water. Ouch. And now we're at the elementary school in Haddonfield. I don't know what it's called. I'm guessing it's called Haddonfield Elementary School. And you'll see that he writes on the board Samhain, which means Lord of the Dead. Some people pronounce it Sam Hain. And he has a knife sticking in one of the pictures. There you see the word Samhain or Samhain, meaning the Lord of the Dead, the end of summer. And you see Marion Chambers there, played by Nancy Stevens, I believe her name is. And she would go on to reprise her role in H2O and be killed by Michael Myers. And she's also going to be starring in the upcoming Halloween Kills sequel later on this year. She's talking to Dr. Loomis, telling him that he's been ordered to come back to Smith's Grove, and he says, well, they can't order me. And that's when he's about to find out that Laurie and Michael are related. And apparently there's a marshal waiting for Loomis outside. And Jimmy, I understand that he's, looking out for Laurie, but this guy is creepy as hell. It's like, stay out of her hospital room. But I think Laurie's had some kind of reaction to the medication because she's not moving, as you can see here. I often wonder if she was faking, but then again, if she were, um, then why would he use that expletive? Maybe he didn't feel any pulse when he felt her wrist. And we can see Janet is trying to contact Dr. Mixter. But our friend Dr. Mixter is already gone, courtesy of Michael Myers, our villain. And as you can see, Mixter's gone. Michael Myers is going to appear and stick her with the needle. And there he is. And you can see Jimmy looking for Mrs. Alves. Looks like Michael has basically eliminated the entire staff at Haddonfield Memorial Hospital. That is one empty ass hospital, I'll tell you that much. Man. And I believe that that's Nurse Jill. And we have Michael's POV. I'm guessing he's making his way toward Laurie's room. Excuse me. And he's going to open the door. And see, this is what I mean. He goes in there and he's going to try to stab her to discover that she's not there. So it makes me wonder if she was faking. She knew Michael was still out there. So she was not about to stay put and be one of his victims. She did not want to be a sitting duck. Now we're about to get to the good part, ladies and gentlemen, because we're an hour in. So this is when it's about to get juicy. I like this. If you hear the little noise, I was just plugging in my charger for the laptop here. It's about to get good. We can see Michael Myers walking down the hallway. Shout out to everybody listening to this. I want to thank you guys for supporting me over the past 11 years. And here's Michael again, and Laurie's just sitting on the floor casually. Now, is she back in her own room, or is that another room? Because this hospital is so deserted. Maybe it's another empty room. You just never know. And you hear that music played by Alan Howarth. And Loomis just looks so sad and defeated walking to the marshal's car. And we have here Janet calling out for Mr. Garrett. I'm laughing because, of course, there is no Mr. Garrett. He's long gone. But she doesn't know that. All she felt was the hat. I'm telling you, horror movies are hilarious. That hospital is empty as hell. You could bring a whole family in there and live in there, and the other half of the hospital wouldn't even know. And I think Jimmy and Jill are the only ones that are alive. In the hospital, of course. And you see Michael watching and listening. And the way that music is just dragging on and Jimmy is moving from room to room. This is great stuff. Excuse me. And there is Mrs. Alves, completely drained of her blood. Who is Michael Myers? The Chupacabra? And now he's going to slip on the blood. That's convenient. We have Nurse Jill going out there to get in her car to go to the sheriff's station, but Michael has flattened the tires. And I think he even drained the gas. And Laurie's coming out of the hospital room now, and as I said, this is where it's about to get good. They're playing some kind of happy music right now, and I guess they want to lull you into a false sense of security. And then Myers just pops out of nowhere, as we're going to see here shortly. And she turns around, looks at Nurse Jill, and look who it is. Wow. And her shoes fall off her feet. And we hear that classic stalking theme by John Carpenter and Alan Howarth. The original version was better. Laurie's about to run into the dead body of Mr. Garrett. And as you can see, Michael is doing anything he can to get Laurie. He's awesome in this movie. She's gonna make her way over to the elevator and just play with the elevator buttons. I feel so bad for her. Run, Laurie, run! Look at her. There she goes, running toward that elevator. Run, girl, run. Look, just playing with the buttons. I'll tell you what, if I was Laurie, I would fight Michael. He's not just going to kill me. We're going to fight. I would have at least tried to knee him in the breadbasket or something. I'm going to fight you. She's still playing with the elevator buttons. She finally gets it open. Michael's making his way over to the elevator now. And he sticks his hand in there, but the door closes anyway. And now she's outside. Again, no music. What would have made this scene even better would be if she were walking around the empty parking lot. It's just completely silent at this point. And we're going to see Jimmy in a second. And here we have Dr. Loomis and Marion Chambers, I believe her name is. And they're going to talk about Michael Myers in a minute. See, he's talking about Samhain and talking about burning animals and all this stuff. So there was a little bit of the Thorn stuff in the sequel. There are little traces of it. You just have to listen. Excuse me. And now we get the revelation that Michael is Laurie's brother. And that's why Michael Myers came back to Haddonfield. And again, people talk about Dr. Loomis, but I want to reiterate that he was desperate to stop Michael, and I've said this in my commentary for Halloween 5. Desperate people do desperate things. So I understand why he did it. Wouldn't you do the same thing to save your loved ones? And we see Jimmy. He's about to faint or die or something. I don't know. And there he goes. I wonder what took Michael so long to get out there to the parking lot. That part was a little strange. And she's crawling on the ground, and I'm wondering why she didn't say anything. She's just making noises. Wiggling her leg like a fish out of water. Doesn't say a word until they go in the building and they can't hear her anymore. And he just told Marion, you stay with me and shut up. I like that. He took charge. Go, Loomis. And here comes Michael Myers. And again, they put the Halloween theme in the wrong place. I think the stalking theme should have been here. And from the way this movie was written, when you think about it, there really was no place for the Halloween theme, with the exception of the opening and closing credits. And I believe that this guy right here, the marshal, is Michael's final victim in the film. Michael's about to get up any second now. And the marshal says he's the only one authorized to use a radio. I can assure you when Michael's done, he won't need the radio anymore. And there they go, running from Michael. This guy never runs out of bullets, I'll tell you that much. Or then again, I think he did, because I heard a gun click. And you'll hear that in a few minutes. You see Marion out there calling for help. There's Michael. He's trying to get her to take the gun, and she's talking about, no, I bet you'll take the gun. If he's trying to kill your ass, you'll take it then, won't you? Talking about, no. You better take that gun. Now, the way he broke through the door, it was a little bit like Jason Voorhees. Now, he just stabbed him. He could have done much more than that. For some reason, he did not want to kill Loomis. Now, when she shoots him in the eyes, how did she aim so perfectly like that? Although I guess she aimed at his head, so she was bound to hit something. And Michael's swinging the, what do you call it, the scalpel. He's very angry right here. Or maybe he's not, and he's just trying to hit a target. He's about to tell her to get out, and I never could understand exactly what he was saying. I heard him say, get out now, that second time, but I don't know what he said the first time. He says, it's time, Michael. And Michael is still going to be walking around. That, I'm telling you, this guy is badass. He's walking around on fire. That's some gangster stuff right there. You know a dude is gangster when he's on fire and he's still walking around. That's gangster. I like that. Now he falls down, of course, but I still give him props. Walking around on fire. And now we're at November 1st, 1978. And they say that this was supposed to be the final chapter of the Myers storyline, and Loomis was dead at this point. And so was Michael. And there's Laurie being wheeled out. I want to thank you guys for listening to my commentary of Halloween 2, 1981. I'm going to be doing commentary for the original Halloween. Stay tuned for that. God willing, of course. We'll have to see, if God and time permits me to do so. And there you see Michael Myers burning. And the Mr. Sandman song coming back on. And this is now the end of the film. I want to thank you guys for listening to my commentary of Halloween 2, 1981, starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasence. Follow me on all forms of social media at the Myers Fan 25. Thank you very much, and I approve this message. Thank you for listening. Have a good weekend.